Welcome to another Health, Wealth, Spirit and Happiness Inspired Chat. Again, we have the wonderful Jill Genet here with us, and she's going to be discussing today the fabulous Red Tent Australia. Now, if you haven't been to a Red Tent group, you've really got to go, because it's a lovely group of ladies who are just learning and sharing together and empowering each other to just live from their true selves, if I can put it that way. It's the most amazing thing I think you'll ever go to. And as I said, Jill is the president. She's also the National Red Tent Coordinator. So if you're wanting to, after this interview, to start a red tent in your area, she is the go-to lady to make it happen. Again, at the bottom under the YouTube video, I'll have all the links so you can get to everyone and get to everything. So Jill, thank you again for coming and speaking to me. Welcome.
Oh, thank you for having me on, Roz. Thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to me.
It's always a pleasure. Now, I have asked you this before, but you may have a different answer now. I don't know. What is it that makes your heart sing?
Yeah, different day, different song. Today my heart sang because I was connecting people. We just had our AGM. So Red Tent Australia is a non-for-profit organisation. So we have an executive committee. So every year we have an AGM and we elect a new committee. And this committee that's come on board is making my heart sing. Honestly, I just can't believe, I think I might be surrounded by angels. These women, and I don't even know where they're coming from, just out of the woodwork, all of a sudden these amazing women are walking into my life, and connecting them makes my heart sing, bring them together and just going, these people are meant to meet. It's fabulous.
I would have to say, Jill, what you reap, so do you sow. So I think you're just finding the fruits of your labour finally sort of coming forth there. So as I've stated, you're the president of the Red Tent organisation. What made you decide to start Red Tent Australia?
Well, I guess when I first got here, I moved to Australia from America 5 years ago, and I really didn't know anybody. I had my husband and my best friend since I was 5 years old, but she lives about an hour away. And so I guess I was lonely, and I knew that I just didn't want fake, superficial relationships in my life. I knew that I wanted to walk my path in full awareness and consciousness. So I actually sat down and made some intentions to bring some wise women into my life, and they came. And I had been a follower of the Moon Woman on Facebook, who is Tanishka, and she put up that she was doing a Red Tent facilitator training course, and I think I was like one of the first people to sign up. I loved it, and then I wanted to start a Red Tent in my area, and the first circle had 27 women coming attending. So yeah, that was April 2013.
I think I think as soon as you put this out to the world, so many women just feel a huge connection to it and are like, oh yes, thank you. I was looking for it. I didn't even know that's what I was looking for. But that is what I'm looking for.
Absolutely. And I think that there's a feeling that I hear from women over and over again when they come into the Red Tent, and they express it a little bit differently each time, but they quite often will say, it feels like home. I just feel so welcome. And I've had people break out into song. One lady, she said, I finally know what that song means. And I said, what song? And she started singing, I'm not going to sing it, but she started singing that, love is all around. And so the feeling grows. And, yeah, and so she burst into song, and I said, you know what? That's how it feels when you're not pretending.
Exactly. And how have you found the Red Tent meetings have benefited you personally?
Oh God, so many ways. I have the most amazing friends and people that I can call on, and talented women. It's really expanded my vocabulary, but network of people. And I know, you know, my kids, they never know who's going to be sitting at the table. And I have 5 boys and 1 girl. So Grace comes to the Red Tent quite often. And I'll see her talking to people who are, you know, healers, astrologers, tarot and palm readers, and just all these, you know, really cool people. And she's picking up all these, she knows about crystals now and all this sort of stuff. And it's because of the people that we're hanging out with. And it's quite cool to see my kids learning all of this stuff.
And how have you found that the Red Tent meetings have benefited the community?
Well,
because it's national.
Yeah, I think since we've been going, so Bayside Red Tent started, like I said, in April of 2013, and we've had one circle every month since then. And then Red Tent Australia became a non-for-profit after quite a bit of me saying no, because we were having, it was a good problem, but we were having women coming from all over, not just in our Bayside community, but all over. We had people traveling an hour and a half to come each month. And so the problem was that we had waiting lists. So there were people coming from all over. And so now, in terms of how it's helped the community, we've branched off into other communities. Every month we have somebody who has a business, a small business owner, come and showcase their business, and they teach us something. So, and it can be a variety of things. So, you know, we now have 11 branches all over the place. We have a few down in New South Wales and all around the Greater Brisbane area. And each month people are coming in with small business owners and showcasing their business to, you know, 20 odd women. So it's helping small businesses, and it's helping women gain confidence. We have some tents in remote communities, and they're just getting to know each other as well. So I always say that the effect of the Red Tent will never be able to be measured, but it's that ripple effect that if women are feeling heard, supported, safe, listened to in a way that they may not feel anywhere else, that it makes them, you know, better in every aspect of their life. You know, if they're mothers, if they're wives, if they're working outside of the home and within the home, they're just going to feel supported and more relaxed.
I guess I should share now how I became involved in the Red Tent, and it was because the wonderful lady Dawn from Body and Balance said to me, you should speak to Patria, who is the facilitator for the Jimboomba Red Tent. And I was a little bit apprehensive because I've never found myself very comfortable often in a room full of women, because as you said before, sometimes those relationships are quite, I'll say, fake. Yeah, it's very hard to find that heart connection, and that's how I connect with everyone in the world. I can't help it. If I meet you and I can connect to your heart, bang, we're best friends forever. It's not a problem. But if I can't connect, then there's just no way in this world I can make myself connect to you. And when I stepped into my first Red Tent, I went, I'm home, just like you said. I just felt so safe and so much allowed to be me, no matter how odd I can be. And as a new mum, it was just awesome and wonderful and healing and just everything I needed at that time. So I have to say to you, Jill, thank you. Thank you. We'd never met before, and yet you had started this group that had just helped and supported me so much. So just thank you from the very, very bottom of my heart, especially when it was, my little girl was probably 5 months at the time, and I was a very, very tired, strained lady when I went to my first Red Tent. Yeah. So it's just been such a huge, amazing blessing for me, and I feel so honoured to be interviewing you tonight. So I've now shared my red tent moment. What's been your favourite red tent moment?
Well, first of all, thank you. That makes my heart sing. I remember, it was early on. There was I forget what our subject matter was, but it was fairly real. It was a pretty heavy topic, and we had a lady in the circle, and she'd been coming for a while, and she was not in a good place, and she had sort of disclosed that she was thinking about ending it all. She was thinking about suicide. So for me as a facilitator, that's when, you know, the warning signs start to go, uh-oh. And I don't know how, and I can't take the credit for it, but something changed within that setting. And she came up to me at the end of the evening, and she gave me a hug and told me she'd changed her mind and said, see you next month. And that was definitely a highlight. And she's been coming for a long time. But also something that was really embarrassing and awesome and made me cry was we had a retreat this year at the end of May, and we had hoped to sell 40 tickets. That was our goal. We ended up selling over 100, and on the Saturday night we had some entertainment. 2 flawed girls came in, and they sang, and one of them sang to me, and she changed the words to Alicia Keys' "This Girl Is on Fire" to "Jill Is on Fire." And it was a wee bit embarrassing, but it was awesome. It felt really, really, really cool at the same time. So that's probably one of my big moments of the red tent everything. Yeah,
They are 2 miraculous and wondrous moments.
yeah.
So thank you for sharing those. Now, I'm gonna ask this question because I don't quite understand it. My sister has a great passion for the yurt, and I read when I first started to investigate all this, I read on the Red Tent page that you said you would like red tents across Australia in yurts. Why yurts?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I really, if you haven't been in a yurt, I suggest you find one. There's a lot of, when you walk into a yurt, so first of all, for those that don't know, a yurt is a Mongolian roundhouse. So it's like a permanent tent, but they're easy to install and they have a very low environmental footprint. And they're a beautiful round vaulted ceiling and almost like a womb-like space, and really great use of space. And of course, they don't cost a whole lot. But my vision is that when you drive into a town, so, you know, any town, when you come into a town, they'll have that sign that says welcome to wherever. And then you'll have this, you know, the little signs on there, it's, you know, the Lions Club and the Rotary and the RSL. Is that we have a red tent on there, you know. So if you think about all these organisations that are in towns, and you know, of course they all need to be there and they're doing really good work, but they are all predominantly for men and run by men. And so where do the women go? And I know there's the CWA, and that's fabulous, but there needs to be more. There really does. And so yeah, welcome to Red Tent. Imagine that, Red Tent Australia is in this town. I think that would be a wonderful sight to see. You know, if you don't have family, you don't have support, you drive into town, you know there's a red tent there, and that if you're having a bad day or you're just lonely or you're wanting to know what's going on, you go to the red tent.
That's fabulous. That's an amazing idea. Because I've seen a lot of Mongolian documentaries and stuff, and they look like amazing places.
Mm.
And so to bring that heart to it, and just to be able to bring that focus to it, and to bring the focus to the whichever local space is doing it, that would be amazing.
Absolutely.
What would you share with women who are a bit hesitant to go to a red tent circle, who may have been a bit like me and have found some of the women's groups a little bit excluding?
Yeah, well, I think that's a really common thing. You know, it's been hundreds of years that we've been pitted against each other, and advertising, and you know, you watch things like the reality TV shows just make it 1,000 times worse. So I would say to them to be brave, even just for 5 minutes when they come through the door, that they'll be welcomed with open arms, that they to be open to what's going on. Everything that we do is explained fully. There's nothing that you're gonna, you know, go, oh, what's happening? What am I supposed to do now? This is really weird. It's what I call, that I'm determined to keep out of the red tent, is what I call spiritual snobbery. So I don't know if you've ever sat in circle when there's a whole lot of, if you haven't done a certain course or you don't know the protocol, then you might feel uncomfortable. I'm determined to explain every single thing that we do and why we do it. And it really is all about creating community and making women feel safe. So I'd say to them to be brave for 5 minutes and keep an open mind.
And I'll just echo that if you are brave enough to try it for that 5 minutes, you'll find what an inclusive community that it is. It's all about inclusion. So
yeah.
I think it's amazing. What other services does the Red Tent offer?
So we have a membership base, and so we have a maiden membership, which is the 11 to 17-year-old girls, and then we have the Goddess membership, which is 18 to 55, and then 55 plus. So for each one of those membership levels, we have workshops, and workshops for all age groups as well. So we have programs written for all of them. We have amazing opportunities for businesses. So we have a business directory, so which you are a business member. Thank you very much for being a business member, Roz. So the idea with that is that we're creating an alternative economy of trusted service providers and products. So that's another service that we offer, so referrals and things like that. And yeah, education programs, workshops, and yeah, just a whole lot of gatherings. We do mums and bubs circles, we do wise women meditations, lots of workshops, and yeah, just an opportunity to get together.
And how can someone best find their Red Tent and get in contact with the Red Tent circle near them?
So through our website, which is redtentaustralia.org, and also, of course, on Facebook, Red Tent Australia, and all the other branches are listed on the website and on Facebook. We are on Instagram, but we're not as active on Instagram and Twitter. And we run facilitator trainings. So we have facilitator trainings, there's 4 modules, and we run them twice a year, and we're going to be running them down in Sydney as well in January. And like I said, the goal is to be nationwide, red tents in every neighbourhood. At the moment, we have 11 in operation, with another 15 scheduled for this year.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm going to put all those details down the bottom of this interview. So if you didn't catch that, then you will find you'll be able to click below and be able to go to the Facebook page or the website and just really start to discover more about the fabulous services that Red Tent provide and how you can get in contact. And also, I know that there's facilitated training at the moment, so I did see a link to that too. So I can put there for someone who just sees this and goes, "Oh my God, I would like to be the person who starts that in my community." Now, I asked this question to you before too, but it may be a different answer today, and that's what I always love about everything. If there's one person alive or in spirit that you can have a great lunch with, who would that be?
Oh, look, I think the women that I had lunch with, we have a meeting once a month with conscious business women. And these women are, it's not like a networking lunch where everybody's trying to push their product or service or anything. Everybody's trying to help each other. And so I had lunch with these women a couple of weeks ago, and it was just great because there's so many different ideas and perspectives and ways of looking at business, and we're all trying to help each other, and what a fabulous idea. So having lunch with those women, I get to do it every month, and anybody's welcome. Any business owner is welcome. So yeah, and one of our facilitators, Kerry Mursell, is moving that Conscious Business Solutions lunch and all around all the different red tents. So it's just going to be, at the moment it's in Underwood, and then she's doing one down on the Gold Coast, and I think she's moving it up to the Sunshine Coast as well. So if you have any, people that are business owners that are watching this, then they should get along to one of those luncheons as well.
Lovely. Jill, thank you very much for taking the time to come and talk to me. I have to say to everyone that if you haven't been to a red tent, or you're not sure about what all this red tent is, please click one of the links below and you'll discover a new world of, like I said, inclusion and support and laughs and friendliness, and really a great way to center and ground and be yourself. So Jill, thank you for starting that community.
You've just got it. I love the way that you said that. That's exactly what we're all about. Thank you, Roz.
It's my pleasure.
Bye.
I'll speak to you later. Bye.
Bye.